What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like. Oh, thank you, prophetic end time messages, for subscribing there. But yes, guys, on your way in, make sure to hit like and subscribe, just like prophetic did right there. Hit that notification bell and follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below. And of course, guys, as we get rolling here tonight, guys, every day getting closer and closer to finally seeing our Dallas Cowboys hit the field. And at least if you're waiting for that football fix, at least tomorrow we'll finally get a little bit of it, right? Since technically the football season kicks off tomorrow night, but of course,
it never really kicks off. It doesn't kick off till Sunday night. You know how it is.
You know it. So, and with that said, of course, guys, there are some people here before we kick off tonight's stream that we have to shout out, give the love and the appreciation to for helping to make things happen here on the MCF side of things. Thank you so much to the sponsor of the week and the membership gifting leader right now, Jason Renfro.
Yeah, he's the leader. He's also the current, not the leader. He's got 5 in a row. He's the champion right now. 5 weeks in a row. Going for a month and a half of domination. We'll see what happens. Skeptical had 3 months of domination. Is Jason going to go that far? We'll see. He's right now looking for 6, and he is in the lead. 3-1 over Skeptical Fan. But we have other people representing.
Of course, we have SnugX in the Cash App as the Cash App King. 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row for him. No, 4. There we go. 4 weeks in a row for SnugX. And David Lara bossing that stream around with 60 points on the board.
Yeah, and you want to turn to the who's leading it this week when it comes to the, do you know who's leading, maybe? It's the man staying skeptical. Skeptical fan. Got that Tony Pollard holler, and he's got that lead over Jason Renfro and others in the mix there. And like I said, the leader in the gifting membership side is, of course, Jason Renfro, 3-1 over Skeptical Fan currently. And look at the overall board. Currently, it is still the man staying skeptical, Skeptical Fan. Appreciate you. And hey, Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, and others are in that star level membership. And September we did our raffle. There's another one coming next month. And right now we do our nightly shout outs. So all the other perks that you have in that star level or over everything level. So let me give the shout-outs real quick. We got Skeptical Fan. We got Jason Renfro, star-level members right there. Mary Alvarez, Andy Potch, Lincoln Kane, LC, and, of course, Ron the Don Smith. Appreciate all 6 of you guys repping it here. And we will, we'll see who's on the board. Maybe more, maybe less. We'll see who's ready for that, October star-level jersey raffle. But after those shout-outs, baby, we got to mention, of course, you can jump in the membership on your own. You can jump into the, you can, if you're in the membership already, you can gift memberships. There's a thanks button. There's a super chat as well. And there's 4 other ways you can kind of make a run in the Cash App side of our board.
Of course, you have the Cash App, money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, that Streamlabs link lets your comments show up on screen just like a super chat.
Yep, so appreciate everybody rolling on those sides of things, and helping the channel out as we do this try to do this on the nightly talk about our Dallas Cowboys. And now we got to discuss the people in the house tonight, baby. Who's here ready to watch and chat about our Cowboys and this first true day of practice heading into week 1, and our practice report, injury report, and of course some breakdowns of the Giants. It starts tonight here on our channel here at My Cowboys Family. And also, who else started things off tonight? The Dollar Holler. It's Mr. Jason Renfro with the Go Cowboys.
Ooh, thank you, Jason. Appreciate you, of course.
We're bobbleheading, baby. Who is in the house tonight as David Lara goes to 59 points? Who's in the house ready to discuss our Cowboys?
We have Daniel Berry, what's up? C. Bass in the house, much love. Rolando Rodriguez representing. Haley 94 Ware, hello and hi. Tommy Montoya coming through. Skeptical Fan always staying skeptical. Of course, Jason Renfro. Mari Roberts in the house. Thomas Garrett, the Superior. Garrett, Scorpio representing. Let me see here. Stephen White, hello and hi. Thanks for joining us here. Spoony Dog, what's up? Let me roll back. Make sure I didn't miss anybody here. think we shouted you out. Yep, Chris Plumage, who, by the way, yes, finally got his hat from that awesome Skeptical fan raffle we had just the other day. So thank you so much to Skeptical again, and congrats, Chris. Hopefully you're enjoying your new Puro Pinche Cowboys hat, as I call it.
Go Cowboys, and hopefully Burn Bar as well.
Let me see. Sherilyn Foots, hello and hi. I saw Justin Quarles, a Q-Man, in here earlier. And real quick, in case you didn't know, but Pretty Pre, LaMarcus Robinson, Ken Got Cakes, please reach out to us. You're getting very close to the re-raffling time. We want to be able to get those prizes out to you. If not, guys, then yes, so we'll be going back up on the board. So with that said, I think... Is that everybody here? I think that's almost everybody here.
Comment too. I gotta do one thing real quick, baby.
Yes. So, who drew those? That was actually a gift, I guess, for, like, not really sure what to call it, but yes, Mr. Skeptical Fan sent us this awesome drawing, and it's actually hanging up right here in our living room, so you can kind of see it from where we're sitting, and we love it. It's so great, and we didn't just want to let that kind of fun imagery just hanging out in our living room by itself. So we were able to kind of, tweak it a little bit here and edit it so that it was part of our little MCF chat here. So yes, sometimes we gotta come with our bobblehead mindset, right? So honestly, one of my favorite things about it too, it reminds me of the little bobbleheads we have here of Emmett and Troy. So to me, it just, I don't know, bobbleheads to me in my mind, they feel like success. Don't ask me why. It just does, right? Anyway, but yes, again, huge shout out to Skeptical Fan. I really appreciate it. Honestly, guys, all the little kind of gifts and things that you guys have sent throughout the years from so many of you all are pretty much right in front of us here, hanging out in our living room here and throughout our house. So again, just appreciate you all. And we do have, of course, lots of Cowboy things to talk about today, including the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy, I guess, is bringing back kind of one of the Jason Garrett era things. You remember when Garrett obviously was our coach, we always used to have like a word, a phrase, something, right? It usually tended to be a singular word, at least. Under the Jason Garrett era. Now we're changing things up. McCarthy wants to bring like a whole new energy to it. But I will admit that it did make me laugh a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to get into all of those details. So we'll get all those details in a minute. But baby, I did want to say a shout out to Brandon James Shea, who, again, it's pending, but I'm going to give him the credit right now anyways for the 5 on it and 3 on it earlier from yesterday, actually. It was last night he dropped it. So much love to Brandon James Shea. Repping that star over everything. Yes, even over the Kansas City Chiefs, who play tomorrow. Now, again, I think you got all the kind of comments covered. Everyone hitting
Cowboy #1 fan, Mr. Cowboy. Shout out to you all.
Yes, and hit that like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as you get ready to do right now the NFL and Cowboy news, info, and updates. Let's get into this thing here without further ado, guys. I do want to start off with NFL news, and again, a very strange situation. We talked about the tragic death yesterday of ex-NFL wide receiver Mike Williams, who played for the Bucs and the Bills. Passed away at the age of 36, and again, we talked about I think we talked about it. I don't know if we got the details yesterday, but he had suffered injuries during an accident while working at a construction site. A steel beam fell on his head.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's crazy. So now that is the report the last 2 days, or the last day and a half, I guess you could, yesterday and today. Later today, guys, I don't know how accurate this is, but Mike Williams' agent told ML Football, despite the reports stating that Mike Williams has passed away, he's supposedly alive still. Now, he is on life support and largely unresponsive, so there's some crossed wires here. His 8-year-old daughter visited him in the hospital, and he began crying and could not move at all.
Jeez.
So something's going on. We don't know. Obviously, it seems like something hit him in the head. He's paralyzed. He's unresponsive. So he's
obviously not doing great, but it seems like someone tried to start some very nasty, unfortunate rumors. I can't even imagine what their family's going through right now, dealing with him obviously being extremely injured on top of having to deal with the bullshit of him being fake dead.
Yeah, the report of him passing away supposedly is not true now. The GoFundMe that was set up by his quote-unquote mother was not his mother, and it's been requested that GoFundMe be taken down. So it just sucks to me that someone would do this, and to somebody who's...
GoFundMe is usually really good about that kind of stuff. So, everyone who donated will thankfully get their money back and stuff.
Hopefully. Really hope that he gets better, somehow gets a quick recovery. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm sure we'll find out more about this insane story in the next couple of days and weeks and months ahead.
Look, it's one thing to clickbait when it comes to like dumb cowboy stuff, but when people try to fake news, like actual real life shit like that, really unfortunate. So hopefully he is able to make a recovery.
Yeah, I hope. And again, assuming that the story is right that he's alive, right? So we'll hear more. But I don't know how they can mistake this, but we'll hear more about this. I'm going to
choose to believe that is the case, just because again the alternative just kind of brings us back to where we were before. But at least here we do have some hope for him and his family.
We'll see. I hope he also is going to be able to, be more than just.
Yeah, like he's going to be okay. Yeah.
So now back to the NFL current players. Today there was a retirement. Defensive lineman Carl Nassib. I don't know if you remember him, baby, but
I do actually.
He announced his retirement from the NFL after a 7-year playing career. He was the first openly gay active player in the NFL. Kind of broke barriers there. Then the Washington Commanders, taking the NFC East here, signing wide receiver Jamison Crowder to their practice squad, putting him back with the team that drafted him.
All right.
We've seen Jamison Crowder when he was there, now he's gone, now he's back. But he's on the practice squad, a potential early season call-up to the game day roster against the Cardinals this week. We'll see. Speaking of the Cardinals, they play the Washington Commanders. The Cardinals are expected to have Josh Dobbs officially as their starting quarterback this week, with rookie Clayton Tune getting backup reps. But the Cardinals said they're going to evaluate the situation every week on the quarterback. They could change. That could switch from Dobbs to Tune in a week. So that's just they're going to keep evaluating both quarterbacks as every week goes on. The Jets, who have, again, 7 wide receivers on their roster right now. If you watch the Hard Knocks, you'd know that. But they worked out more receivers today, guys, and the most notable one, former New York Giant and former Detroit Lion, Kenny Golladay. It was a huge bust. The Giants overspent, and they cut him. He's out there, still not signed, believe it or not, working out with the Jets, who have 7 active receivers on their roster. And then you have another player from the Saints, guys. I don't even remember what position he plays, but he has been suspended for the first 6 games of the 2023 regular season. Why? He violated the NFL policy on PEDs, performing enhancing substances, and he will be eligible to return to the Saints active roster on Monday, October 16th. Jack Hayner, I don't know if I said his name, but Jack Hayner of the Saints. He's gone for 6 weeks, misses 6 games of the season for the Saints. The last real piece of, non-Cowboy NFL news, but this kind of comes back to us, is the big signing of Joey Bosa. Chris Jones still waiting for his deal, and he's obviously not going to be able to play tomorrow, but Nick Bosa looks like they say he's going to play now. He's been officially signed, which means, given an extension that he's been sitting out for and was threatening not to play. Nick Bosa has agreed to a 5-year, $170 million extension with the Niners, including $122 million guaranteed. And by the way, guys, this is a major, there's a big jump here, highest paid defensive player in history. And this now becomes, unfortunately for the Cowboys, a starting point for the conversations between the Cowboys and Micah Parsons next offseason. We cannot sign Micah any sooner than when this season officially ends. I think until like middle of March or end of March is the first time we can actually sign Micah. I sure hope the Cowboys have something ready to go. Because already this deal, the $170 million, guys. Get ready for something even much more than that, like
Micah
35
has
per. 35.
Micah has ears.
Oh, yeah. And the Cowboys going to try to say he's a linebacker. And Micah's going to say, hell no. So, in the end, expect Micah somewhere in the $35 million a year range for these deals sometime next. I mean, he's getting almost the Dak Prescott quarterback money.
This is going to be one of those times where...
It's crazy.
Sometimes it's important to make sure that whatever you're actually doing or whatever's going on actually matches whatever's going on paper as well. Because on paper, Micah's a linebacker. In reality, not so much, right? And that technically on paper linebacker designation could come back and bite him in the ass when it comes to contract time, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, well, but linebacker designation, he will fight. It's not going to be like it only messes him up if they tag him. Then it becomes a situation he's going to be tagged as a linebacker. That could make an issue even worse for the Cowboys in the future when it comes to Micah Parsons. He might be, I'm out of here as soon as I can. But the other option is that, the Cowboys, you don't want to sour that relationship. So the Cowboys, you're going to pay him what he wants, what he's worth, no matter what position he is. You're looking at more than Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa's edge rusher. So is Micah Parsons. He's going to go full-time this year. You're going to see it probably just as much as last year, if not even more. Who knows? So we'll see what happens. But right now, I'm looking at around close to the or near or at the $35 million a year for Micah Parsons next year. You know, the 49ers have the highest paid edge rusher in the NFL, Nick Bosa. The highest paid running back, Christian McCaffrey in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The highest paid fullback, Kyle Juszczyk in the NFL. And they also have the third highest paid tight end, George Kittle. The third highest paid left tackle, Trent Williams. The third highest paid linebacker, Fred Warner. The sixth highest paid defensive tackle, Javon Hargrave. And the seventh highest paid wide receiver in Deebo Samuel. I mean, the Niners are paying all their guys a lot of top-end money. Their quarterback, Brock Purdy, makes the least among all NFL starters, $934,000 on the books there. So I'm just saying,
highway robbery.
They have a lot, but they also have a lot. The reason they can sign, here's the thing: what you're going to say about the quarterback? You need a quarterback that's getting $40, $55 million a year. Brock Purdy's making not even $1 million right now in the rookie contract. And they're able to get all these other top players in all these other spots on the football field. So, you know, they're going to be a tough team to also beat, with the Eagles and us. Those are the three teams vying for things in the NFC conference. Now, quick thing here, guys. All rookie players. Let me see something here if I can pop it up on the screen. I don't know if I have the photo of the rookies anymore.
It's funny. Haley94 said a comment earlier that cracked me up. And by the way, Skeptical Fan has the absolute comment of the night, but I won't say it out loud for decency reasons. But if you're in the chat, you already know. Haley94 said, Thursday night football is like Christmas Eve, where your parents say, okay, you can open up one present, but you have to wait till Sunday to open the rest.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
And I said, I'm like, that is very, very accurate.
Very good analogy or comparison, for sure. Agreed. So,
and the one present you open, it ends up being like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And again, there's nothing wrong with a t-shirt, but it's a t-shirt. You're hoping for a toy at least.
Yeah. So we'll see. Our toy is open on Sunday night football. So, anyways, starting Thursday and throughout the weekend games and all that, over the Sunday and into the Monday games, all rookie players that are on a 53-man roster, not the practice squad guys, but any rookie player on a 53-man roster to start the NFL 2023 season will wear an exclusive NFL Premier patch on their jersey during Week 1. Just keep that in mind. You're going to see, guys like Mozzie Smith and, you're going to Schoonmaker. They're going to have this NFL Premier. It's like a white patch. It's going to be on their jerseys. And that's for every team in the NFL, every rookie in the NFL that's on the 53-man roster. And any rookies making their debut over the course of the season, let's say another week, so, Week 3, someone's making a debut, guess what happens? If they get on the 53 and they're a rookie, they will wear the same patch during that first game. The first NFL game for every player when they get on the 53 and get into a game. Those game-worn jerseys will be gifted to the rookies to further honor their first in-season NFL game in their lives, right, in their careers. Mm-hmm. So that's obviously, a nice thing the NFL is doing. I think it's nice. They're doing for all the rookies. No matter, if you enter in Week 16, and you're not even on the field, but you're on the 53-man roster, you will get that game-worn jersey gifted by the NFL to that player, with that patch that they wore, for that throughout that first game. You'll be able to see the players that are in their first game with that patch, and that's probably going to be something they keep doing, not just this season, but probably seasons beyond. So we'll see how that goes. Now, as far as our Dallas Cowboys, of course, today there was no practice, guys. Oh, I'm sorry, there was a practice. Let me rephrase that. There was a practice, but the Cowboys, after they went to practice today in the afternoon, Texas heat, 103-degree day in Dallas. Again, tomorrow it's going to be 105 degrees with a heat index of 110. So just so everyone knows, for tomorrow's practice for the Cowboys, they alter their schedule. Instead of going, in the noon to 1:30 time frame today, they're going to be starting at 9 a.m. It's still going to be 9 a.m. hot, but it's not going to be that that midday crazy heat that's coming down now. I mean, you're looking at probably, 10 to 12 degrees cooler by practicing, in the morning at 9 a.m. over 12
that
and
makes
1
a
a.m.
huge difference, right? It does not take much to overheat, especially as much activity and stuff that these guys are going to be doing. So, we need them alive for this Sunday, not passing out in the heat and wilting like a flower in this Texas heat.
So, McCarthy's trying to maintain the team, make sure they're all good to go. But I also wanted to bring up some quick little things. Since we're kicking the season off, guys, here on Sunday night, maybe what do you think about some of these, some of these little kind of titles you can say, right? Mm-hmm. You have the breakout guy of the year.
Okay.
Some people are saying Damone Clark as an example. I think that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I think Osa Odigizua is another possibility, right, for a breakout candidate. Comeback kid this year.
I mean, that to me, there's only one person who even fits the bill.
Who?
Tolbert.
Jalen Tolbert's definitely on the list.
From last year to get him off my team to please don't get him off my roster.
I think you could say Rico Dowdle to an extent if he does pick up the Malik, the Malik and Zeke roles, I guess you can say. And then you have Terrence. To me, Terrence Steele's my pick because with that injury. But again, he had such a good year. If he comes back, it's good. He missed like a month and a half. So is it enough?
So I can see that Terrence Steele technically, since we are talking comeback. But to me, comeback could be coming back from an injury or just coming back from a really crappy season. Right. So I acknowledge those two could fit the bill, Tolbert or Terrence Steele.
Yeah, I agree. Now, rising star, I mean, to me, someone like a Jake Ferguson, highlighted by Kittle himself. I think that's somebody you could watch. I think that, someone like Marquise Bell, number 14, who's taken over that new role at linebacker, and, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. I think another guy who's already kind of a star, but he'll get healthy and be playing, and I think Tyler Smith will be, I'm not saying about this game, but he'll be healthy in the season. He will be one of those guys that maybe makes that Pro Bowl as another rising star in his second year for the Cowboys. Now, cannot forget about a certain number of guys here, and a lot of these will be rookies. Guys like Luke Schoonmaker. Right now he's our third tight end. But who cannot forget about right now? I think Luke Schoonmaker is a good example of someone you don't forget. I think, especially with our offensive line issues, at guard and tackle with depth, I think Awesome Richards is a guy we have to talk about. And Awesome Richards has to be a guy we consider as, hey, he might have to step in there and start a lot of games this year. I don't know. And that means at guard or at tackle. Also, I think when you look at our safeties, you cannot forget about Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson. And especially Donovan Wilson, off the injury. We need him in this game specifically against, Daniel Jones. So when it comes to rebounding this year, I think Jordan Lewis is a big rebound candidate for the Cowboys. I think Michael Gallup is actually as big, if not bigger, as a rebound candidate. I think he's a guy that can really take that next step from the injury year he had last year. And, I think Gallup, to me, is the more prime candidate for, like, the guy who's going to rebound over Jordan Lewis, although both can be in that range. Jordan Lewis had a good year until he got hurt. Dark horse MVP. I mean, I guess, can you say someone like Brandon Cooks, new to the team? I don't know.
Said dark horse, not impossible, but sure. I know. Nothing against him.
Yeah, I know. CeeDee Lamb, I guess he wouldn't be an MVP. Tyler Smith, though, offensive line, I don't know. And then the last.
To me, dark horse would be more like someone actually unexpected. Maybe one of the tight ends or a defensive lineman.
MVP though,
I know. That's why I'm thinking more offense there. So or. Heck, even, I'm just saying, Tolbert. There you go. Tolbert over Cooks.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, dark horse MVP, yeah. I mean, look, if someone becomes the MVP of this team we're talking about, it will not be Jalen Tolbert. It has to be somebody's going to be MVP of the team. When we're talking about guys like Micah or Dak, not a surprise. If you talk about Brandon Cooks, that's a surprise. I think CeeDee Lamb is not as much as one. I think Tyler Smith, not a surprise, but I think that's a good candidate as well. So, those one last, category you could say under the radar. I think we could go back to some of the breakout guy kind of people there, like a Damone Clark, Osa Odigizua, those names right there. I think Jalen Brooks, could he be an under-the-radar guy that pops up on, and helps us throughout the season? Who knows, right? That would be under the radar if he gets on that field and gives us any kind of snaps out there. So anyways, just throwing those around, just to get some ideas.
Tyron Church said D-Law.
That's a good.
Dark horse is Deuce, said Seabass.
Oh, man, that's an interesting one right there.
That would be fun.
Give us a couple more as I get ready to read out a shout-out.
Jason Remember said, it's been so hot in Texas, even the grass and weeds are dead. So, by the way, shout out to you, Voodoo Alpha. Much love. Alexander Moreno, he said, Rookie of the Year? Style. So, he said Hunter for Rookie of the Year.
That'd be interesting. That'd be amazing if he got the Rookie of the Year. He won't, but that'd be funny. I mean, having a fullback getting Rookie of the Year, it won't happen. But it's fun to talk about. And you know what else? I do have to shout out somebody maybe who is, one of the best here on MCF. And you know why he's here. Snug X dropping that 5 on it.
Shout out to you, Snug.
Snug dropping 5 on it in the Cash app saying simple 2 words. Go Cowboys!
Ooh.
Appreciate
Always
you.
Go Cowboys.
Yeah, Snug, appreciate you as always. Go Cowboys with the thumbs up. And he jumps on the board, not just in the Cash App side, but the overall board as well, going up into, I think, 4th place right now, all by himself. So, much love to Snug. Will he go for 5 on it? He's got 4 on it right now on that Cash App side. Still behind Skeptical Fan on that side of things. So, I'll have to do any quick little comments in the chat before we keep it rolling about this topic, hopefully.
Well, adjacent to it real quick, just because Seabass did say, I'm a little lost on what's going on with our second draft pick. It's been very quiet on him. So remember, he was a little bit banged up. He had that plantar fasciitis issue throughout training camp, so we didn't get to see too much of him. But he did come back somewhat recently. He's been active with the team, ready to go, working his way slowly into the offense. But honestly, yeah, it has been pretty quiet, mainly because of that, and it's hard to say what's happening there. But that plantar fasciitis definitely set him back at least a little bit in this early part of the season. So I think it's just one of those things where once we actually start playing games, we'll start seeing it come together a bit more.
I think, Schoonmaker is listed as our 3rd tight end. I think he could be a sneaky guy that comes up on this team if he's used the way that McCarthy said he was going to use him, probably about 60% of the time. As a tight end, as an inline blocker, as a kind of pseudo fullback kind of guy. I mean, pass protection. I think you'll see Luke Schoonmaker as an emergency blanket. Keep an eye on number 86. He might surprise us a little bit as the season, as we get into the season. But right now, he doesn't definitely have a slow start.
So. Yeah, I damn sure
can't waste.
Hope so.
We cannot waste a 2nd round pick once again, or it's time to figure things out. Yeah, it's time to figure shit out because. Not a big fan of the 2nd round picks of recent years and the way they're all kind of bumbling down the freaking toilet.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs is out here.
The only one.
Carrying them all on his back right now.
Yep. So, as we bounce back, again, guys, you know how to stop us on this thing. Drop some love, drop a question that way, and we will definitely read it, stop what we're doing, and get to it. But we're going to get to a lot of news, info, and updates today. So, this is the way it's going to be the rest of the season. So, you got to stop us if you guys want to make sure you have something important to say, you want us to read one of your comments or thoughts or questions. So, let's keep it rolling, because then we got to Mike McCarthy today, guys. Mike McCarthy. And again, if you look at our thumbnail, you'll understand kind of which direction we're going with this thing here. McCarthy opened up the press conference once again at the Star, in Frisco, and he said that his theme. You were talking about this earlier with Garrett and his themes that he had: fight and finish and whatever his things, his corny little things were.
Persevere, whatever the heck.
McCarthy, again, I'm not saying these are all corny things, but you probably need something like this, I'm sure. McCarthy said that the theme to the 2023 season is Carpe Omnia. I don't know if I said that right, but Omnia, there you go. Carpe Omnia. And it's Latin for seize everything. He presented this to the players this morning, today. And he also presented it to the staff today. That's the staff to the reporters today at the press conference. And again, he said that he said this. He presented this thing this morning. This Carpe Omnia. Yeah. And he said that it has a number of components. I think you have the details of this. But basically, you'll see. You guys will see the picture. As far as the picture, but this is a photograph of the actual sign that's hanging in front of the Cowboys locker room, and we're going to be seeing the tour. I'm sure we'll get to. I hope we'll get to see this. But you see behind Tony Pollard's head, you got like the Super Bowl trophies. You got the teams that won 71, 77. This is what's hanging right over their heads. Every time they walk in the locker room, they're seeing the greatest players from all these 5 Super Bowl teams. There's a window there, a little mirror or a little frame, I guess. It's empty. It's an empty, frame, and that is, according to McCarthy, he said that all these components. You'll discuss it in detail in a minute. But the empty picture frame is in front of the team room, and it's quote all of the possibilities of the future, according to McCarthy. Meaning we could be that 6th team up on that wall. So. Again, this whole situation, the components to it, his breakdown of the word and what the words of what it means to the team this year. Again, the empty picture, it kind of fills it in. It basically represents the endless possibilities on how the Cowboys can fill that frame. The Cowboys have this empty picture frame, which is the main thing he kept talking about. Basically, the quote, a picture says 1,000 words, according to McCarthy. So, baby, I know you have more breakdown on this specific situation, on this Carpe Omnia. So, Hit me with it, baby. Give me what McCarthy said about it, and then tell me what you found out about this.
Yeah, so first, this is what McCarthy had to say about this, saying, quote, "The theme is Carpe Omnia, seize everything. I presented it to the team today. It just really has a few parts to it. Frankly, probably the players should speak on it because I'll be curious how much they paid attention. I think themes are important. They come to you at different points of the off-season, and this came a little different. I think it needs to illustrate where you feel your football team is at, where they are in their progression towards winning a championship, and I think it's very, very difficult to win a Super Bowl in this league. There's no question about it. That's proven each and every year. But sustaining success, I think, personally, in my experience, is a bigger challenge. Just giving them the touch tone to connect with that of Carpe, seize, Omnia, everything. That's the way that we're looking at this season. We have an empty picture frame in the front of the team room, and it illustrates that pictures say 1,000 words. But the reality of it is an empty frame is everything because it is all the possibilities, capabilities, and what's in front of us. Are we going to do what we need to do every single day? Everything that we possibly can do to fill that frame and be part of the history and tradition of the Dallas Cowboys? So,
interesting
McCarthy
big
obviously
breakdown
put
there.
a lot of thought into this, and I have to admit, I'm definitely a big fan because, in case you didn't know, themes are not just for 8th grade book reports. They are applicable to life and all that, and it seems like our players actually caught on a little bit of the message here.
I know the players spoke on it. I don't know if you have that portion of things, but I did want to say about this picture here on the right side, next to the Omnia part of things. You can't see it because I got Micah in front of that, but Micah's wearing this person on his hoodie there. You can see him wearing the hoodie. It says Carpe Omnia on his hoodie. This was made. I mean, he got one already printed up. He spoke with the media today, and he went into this a little bit. But the picture of that person is the Nihang Singh warrior. I think that's what we found out about that. And it is an armed Sikh warrior order originating in the Indian subcontinent. And again, basically, the military history, early Sikh military history, was dominated by the Nihang, known for their victories when they were heavily outnumbered. That's the general thing I have on this. I know you have more details on this and this whole situation with this Singh warrior, which is on, you can see here on Micah's hoodie right there in the middle. What is this about, baby? Let me break it down for me.
Well, I actually have the players' comments first.
Go ahead. Yeah, break it down however you. I thought we were going to talk about this part first. Okay.
No, it's like all together here because, like I said,
all mixed in. So, what do the players say about this new theme, this mindset going forward?
So you got to remember, picture yourself. You're a Dallas Cowboy player. You're walking into the place. You're seeing the empty picture frame. You're kind of like figuring out like what the heck is McCarthy doing here. But Brandon Cooks said afterwards to the media, saying this was unique. This was unique because obviously teams have their theme, but as far as making a showcase of it, I would say this was the first time. I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Good to hear his thought process of the whole presentation.
Yeah, and you guys saw it. Obviously, players are repping. The gear already came prepared, right? They had T-shirts and sweatshirts. The mural was unveiled, right? Part of the theme here, too, is that, like, the Super Bowl trophies, you can kind of see them behind Pollard's head there.
The helmet, yeah.
And again, remember, each year, McCarthy has kind of chosen a different theme. So first in 2020 was the whole 2020 vision. Obviously, 2021 was supposed to be victory. Last year it was resilience, right? LVE said that I think this is the best one yet. Obviously, a theme doesn't mean anything unless, there's a reason that he picked what he picked. It's up to us to go make it happen this year, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what our goal is. I just loved the delivery of it. So, and McCarthy, he made, a whole-ass presentation here, guys. He had a PowerPoint, he had pictures, he had, information here. So, and Mr. MCF asked, so Guru Hargobind is the spiritual master from the 17th century. McCarthy explained that he was born into a peaceful village, but responded to the turmoil of his time by launching the first Sikh army. He carried two swords that represent Miri and Piri. Miri relates to war, and Piri ties to spirituality. So the way that McCarthy kind of related it to the whole theme of the year and the season is the war, the Miri, that's the football, And the purity, the spirituality, that's the family side of things. So he's saying, like, off the field, right? It's about peace. It's about love. It's about the family. It's about the way that the team comes together and everyone supports us, right? But when we're on the field, it's war. It's a bloodbath. You murder your enemies. You kill them. You do what you have to do to protect yours because that's what you do when it's war, right?
You know Micah's ready. You
so, look at him. And the intense kind of spirit of competitiveness, as it was called. And something really nice is the whole, like, family spirituality thing. He had like a bunch of pictures of the players like with their families. So if you actually look at the mural and stuff like that, you can see like it's the players, it's pictures of them with their families. And apparently a few weeks ago, the Cowboys had gotten some like secret audio recordings of some of our own players, right? And they didn't even know what it was going to be for. So like Dak, Trayvon, Tyler Smith, Biadish, Pollard, like LVE, Tank, like a whole bunch of players contributed to it. And you know, Dak's comment there was basically saying, like, family isn't only determined by blood. So LVE kind of commented a little bit more, saying, we didn't even know what we were giving the interview for, and to have that be put together for us, it means a lot. It almost brought a tear. It made me emotional, because obviously everyone has their own reason, their why, and it was special, and it was neat to see it. So
you get an idea what this presentation was. It was more personal than just some corny PowerPoint. You know, it was integrating these players' love for their families into the war of football. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what really, it made it more personal. It drew the players in. And by doing this, it actually connects them even deeper. And I think that makes, you know, all you need is something to spark to kind of maybe push that. Every team could do something similar in this, but they're not all going to work. But if you push to connect, you know, the family with, you know, with the football situation, I think they see the bigger picture. You can really focus this team. You know, great job of McCarthy at least trying to go a different route than usual.
And again, obviously, like Carpe Diem, we all know that one. That was actually like McCarthy's go-to thing back in like 2010, 2011 with the Packers or something like that. So, and lots of players are kind of familiar and know.
Well, there's an Omni right next to the Star. There's an Omni hotel. So maybe Omnia. Maybe that's the whole thing. Jerry Jones maybe had his 2 cents on that. Just joking, but you never know.
Yeah, so McCarthy specifically told players that it's not enough to just seize the day. They must go beyond to develop their frame.
Seize everything.
That's the type of mentality that he wants heading into this.
Seize everything. I love it. Yeah.
Yep. J. Ron Kurz said, quote, it's something that once you hear it, you live by. You try to attack everything that way. I think back to Clemson, Carpe Diem. You feel me? We just took it another step to this. We've got everything in front of us. Why not go out there and seize everything? We can seize the day, but seize more than that. Seize more than that. Let's go get everything. Everything that's meant for us, let's go get it.
Get 6 and beyond. And J-Ron Curse, he sees number 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
and obviously
I
went into a little bit more detail on this. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I've never actually heard the players comment on the theme before. Like, usually it's just the theme, and then, like, that's it. They're just repping it, and then everyone moves on with their lives. But it seems like this year it definitely touched a few more players on the more personal side of things, and I don't know. I have to admit, I'm actually kind of a fan of it.
Yeah, see, if you just do a thing about this warrior and all this stuff, it's one thing. When you say, oh, family and football, it's one thing. When you tie in these interviews, that they were really like they're being talked about, you know, and asked about their families, the love for their families, and then he put it into this breakdown. I think that's the key catch.
Yeah, I think Aguilar before said Mike's son Zoo McCarthy has been reading The Art of War.
Hey, you know, reminds me of a little bit of Phil Jackson style. If you guys know Phil Jackson in the '90s with the Bulls, everyone had their own book they had to read, and you know, you read it and it breaks you down a little bit. So Phil Jackson always was cerebral about that. I wonder if McCarthy's taking a little page out of that book.
Yeah, Seabass, definitely a big change from the Hot Boys mentality, right?
Fuck the Hot Boys shit. Sorry, I don't like it. Never will. And that's a New Orleans thing. That's a rap group. That's a New Orleans rap thing. Nothing to do with our Cowboys. It sucked from the beginning. It sucked in the middle, and it sucked when it should have been dead a long time ago. That thing, that whole Hot Boys shit.
It's all right.
I'll go with this for sure.
So anyway, that's pretty much it as far as like the new kind of, you know, carping. We're gonna be DMing. Sorry, I had to do that. But yeah, so that was it as far as that. I want to kick it back to you, baby, because obviously McCarthy spoke a lot more than just about carping the Omni.
Yeah, it's more than just themes here. He talked about some injury situations, and that's, in the end, all the talk, all the comments, and all this stuff is great, but if it helps them win, hell yeah. But right now, this is about, you know, our players being healthy for every game as much as possible. So now we look at this here, guys, and you know, McCarthy, after the Carpe Omnia thing, Talked about Tyler Smith. Yeah, Tyler Smith, guys, that hamstring strain that he has, the MRI showed that yesterday. And Donovan Wilson has the calf strain from a month ago. Both these guys will not be practicing today, and they did not practice today. I'll go into more details about the practice in a minute, but that was their update from Mike McCarthy. You know, they're going to be. They worked with Director of Rehab Britt Brown. The goal is for them to practice later this week. Somehow, do we have a chance for Tyler Smith? Do we have a chance for Donovan Wilson to practice later this week? It gives them a chance to play against the Giants. I just don't want anybody rushed. When it comes to Tyler Smith and the hamstring, according to McCarthy, he's going to work off to the side and hopefully be able to practice later this week. That's per McCarthy. He talked about both him and Donovan Wilson, and McCarthy said this. I think they are both in a similar category. They'll both work with Britt today, and the goal will be to get them to practice by the end of the week. And he also spoke about Sam Williams, Mike McCarthy. Sam Williams said, with the turf toe he has, he suffered that last Wednesday, so a week ago. According to McCarthy, not going to practice today. No practice. The plan was for him to work on the sideline with Director of Rehab Britt Brown. But guess what? He hasn't done that yesterday. He didn't do that on Monday. I'm sorry. So Sam Williams hasn't really practiced since he's been injured with that turf toe. Concerning.
Look, it's still very early. He did only just get banged up the other day.
A week.
But damn, not the way I wanted to start that off.
So when it comes to that, now that's all he said. I mean, he talked a lot about the Carpe Omnia, but the main thing was practice now. Now we go to practice now, right? You know what I'm saying? The press conference is over. Mm-hmm. The practice is out here. And what was going on with Sam Williams? On the field, we saw Sam Williams finally working with Britt Brown, it looked like, guys. Okay. So that's a good sign there. That's an upgrade from him from yesterday, from Monday. Hopefully by the end of the week, he's in practice. Hopefully by Friday, he is in practice. So that's the hope with Sam Williams. I just want to get him 10, 15 snaps. Get him back out just a little bit. I know he's not going to go crazy out there. He's not a starter.
No, but even a handful
player.
Of snaps will help. You know, it's not just about the workload in this one game. It's about the workload for the rest of the D-line for the entire season. Yep. So the more snaps he's able to physically take, the better for everyone. And
I think the better rest you can get for someone like this. Micah Parsons.
Exactly.
You rest a Micah on 10 to 15 snaps, not every single time, but, you have Micah and him maybe overlapping 7 times on the outside, and then you have 7 where Micah takes a play off. I mean, he might have to regulate him for the whole season. So Sam Williams' appearance in this game would be big in that sense. Not in the starter sense, but to relieve some snaps from our other starters, maybe DeMarcus Lawrence and others, and also get him. I think it's good for him to kind of get warmed up a little bit, acclimate to game time type stuff, just in case we don't want this turf toe acting up throughout the year, although we know it will. That's the unfortunate part. Who else is out there working with Britt Brown and rehabbing? Well, similar to what Mr. McCarthy said, was Donovan Wilson. He was, thank goodness, also with the calf strain. We saw him yesterday working out. He's back out there working, which is good to see. Again, working not with the team, but with the Director of Rehab there, Britt Brown. So both these guys are out there working. Now, we're, of course, worried about the offensive line. To me, that's my biggest concern. So Tyler Smith, where was he at? Tyler Smith, with the hamstring, was not even on the field today. Not a good sign there. During the open portion with reporters, he was not there. Like I said, Sam Williams, Donovan Wilson will work to the sideline. But Tyler Smith, according to McCarthy, was supposed to work with Britt Brown, not out there. So that, to me, it just feels concerning to me. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a downer. But we got to wait tomorrow. We got to wait till Friday. The hope is these guys, all 3 of them, get on that field in practice by the end of the week. You want to hear some good news? We got some good news if you want. Jordan Lewis, number 2. Now, McCarthy said, he'll be out there. He's been out there the last couple of days, and in practice with the pads on and everything. And we saw Jordan Lewis today in practice getting really comfortable, getting really acclimated. He's 2 weeks now on that field. Remember, he needed 2 weeks. By the end of this week, it'll be 2 weeks. Will he be ready to play? That'd be great if he can. He was running stride for stride, full speed. With players, he was running full speed drills. So he didn't have any hesitancy. When it came to changing direction on that foot, he seemed very comfortable and confident on that foot, that broken foot. Remember, guys, good sign for Jordan Lewis. He may be heading. I mean, I'm not going to say he's going to play, but he's definitely looking like a better chance for him to play.
I agree.
Now, as I look at
seems more likely
the injury report, baby, let's slide over to the injury report.
Slide.
We have 4 guys on the injury report, and I spoke about all 4 of them. I literally just did. So let's start with Jordan Lewis. He was on the injury report with the foot injury. Full practice.
That's what we want to see.
Full practice for Mr. Jordan Lewis. So it seems to me he's going to play. If you're full practice, you're going to play. I would guess. So we'll see what happens, but good news for
barring some kind of catastrophic setback.
J. Lou, too. It looks like he's in full effect. And again, that'll be our 4th cornerback. We're solid, man. We are solid right there. Now, let's go to another defensive back who's very important to shadow, Daniel Jones. Donovan Wilson with the calf did not participate in practice, which we know. He was on the sideline with Britt Brown. Who else was on this list today? Defensive player Sam Williams, who we know has the turf toe, foot issue, of course, did not practice today, as we knew. He's off. He's of course not. Officially, he's still working with the rehab guy there. So who's left? Of course, and this is a no-brainer. Tyler Smith, who of course, he has the hamstring, did not practice today. No surprises. I think we just know what practice. The way practice went, we knew these 4 guys would be on the actual report. Jordan Lewis, full practice. The other 3 guys, DNP, which is not a good sign. But that's only first day. Hopefully tomorrow someone gets limited.
Yeah, I would be more concerned if it stays exactly the same tomorrow, in the sense of that's obviously
I think
starting to lean towards a certain direction.
I'm
saying it's 100%.
My guess tomorrow, baby, is that we're going to see Tyler Smith still did not practice. I think Friday is the key for him. I think Donovan Wilson, Sam Williams, tomorrow there could be a chance they're limited. But they could also be waiting to the last day to be either limited or full practice. I think you won't see any of these guys full practice. I think you might see Tyler Smith limited on that Friday participation and probably listed as doubtful or questionable for the game when it comes to Tyler Smith. We shall see. Really quickly, though, before we kind of go into what the players said after, the rest of the comments about their, Bailey, Micah Parsons, and Tony Pollard and Tyron Smith, they all spoke after practice. But I do want to say, when it comes to the injury report, the Giants, according to their coach, Brian Dable, he said that, everyone's practicing health, everyone's healthy, everyone's practicing, everyone's out there. And it pretty much is true, guys. The only guys on their injury report, they had more guys on the injury report, but they're all limited in practice, which means it's just getting rest. They'll be fine for the game. Gary Brightwell, running back with the knee. Cam Brown, linebacker with the ankle. Lawrence Kager, tight end with the ankle. DJ Davidson with the knee issue. All these guys are limited, guys. Cordell Flott, DB. Hamstring. Javarius Owens, DB. Hamstring issue. And Wandell Robinson with the knee issue. All of them limited. This means that they're all probably going to play. As of right now, it seems that they're starting off kind of working them in, and then as they get closer to the game, they'll be getting probably to the full practice modes. We'll see what happens, guys, on both of these. But that's the situation right now. Now, we're going to switch gears here to, I guess, some of the comments from the players today.
Yeah, real quick, Seabass wants to know if Sam Williams needs surgery for that toe. As of now, no surgery.
Yeah, they said it was minor.
Indicated, but obviously, even a minor turf toe injury could affect him for a handful of weeks, right? If not even longer. But we're trying to stay optimistic here. It is only week 1, but still, not exactly the greatest feeling, right? So with that said, let's go ahead, like you said, my love, start touching on some of the comments from our players, including Tony Pollard, our newly minted starting running back here, who's starting to feel back in football shape, right? He said,
I want to know. That's the reason I have a question mark on the thumbnail, is because I want to know, is he ready to go? Terrence Steele looks like he's ready to go. Tony Pollard, is he ready to go?
They've been keeping him a lot more low key.
Yeah.
So,
what he said?
And he said, "I've been ready for this moment. Ooh. The time is now.
Love it.
I'm very excited. I'm ready for the challenge to be the lead back and show what I can do." So, he also said that, I've got plenty of film picking up blocks and picking up pressures. So, basically just kind of backing up his skills, because obviously that's one of the biggest things that people say, hey, that's the hate you're taking, having him instead of Zeke, previous years.
I do want to make sure I always say this thing, and I don't have the exact numbers imprinted in my brain, but Tony Pollard actually had more pass blocking snaps last year than Zeke. And he was better at pass block win percentage. So what I'm trying to say about this is that Tony Pollard was overall in the NFL ranked second best pass protecting running back. Zeke was, I think, 22nd, 21st, 23rd, one of those. Early 20s, though. My point is that Zeke is a top 20 pass blocking running back last year. Pollard was a top 2. So we're in good hands, I still think, with Pollard. He's improved every year with pass protection.
Mm-hmm. So, and of course, the Giants is you guys have all been saying it, and I can't remember who it was that said this earlier in our stream, but you can't underestimate them. They're not going to be an easy team, right? And Pollard said it's critical to the success of the team and to the offense, making sure that the running back, the QB, and the O-line are on the same page with protection and pickups. We'll have extra meetings on the sideline to make sure that we see things the same and that we're all thinking about it the same so that we're on the same page. So it seems like communication is obviously being really stressed this year, right? Pollard went into this a little bit more, saying a lot of conditioning, more work on endurance and working on my stamina, being able to be in there a little while longer. I'm just trying to make sure I'm still explosive and that I have my power and all that. Working with Britt Brown on the bands this summer in the heat and blazing sun, running sprints and metabolics, and doing a lot of different things. So, honestly, sounds like Pollard just put his nose to the grindstone and put in the work. So, again, huge shout out to the man, Tony Pollard there.
Yes.
That was everything that he had to say. And a quick little side note, it wasn't so much a quarter discussion, but Deuce Vaughn technically did win the Nickelodeon Award for the preseason.
That's right, yes.
MVP, so the Nickelodeon. So ahead of, before he makes his big debut, he said it was really cool. But my favorite part is how he was initiated into being the recipient of this
I think
award.
we all know how, right?
Because Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle slimed him in the locker room. So
Yes.
you're not going to see any footage of that because, remember, you can't record players inside the locker rooms like that.
Well, no, but they slimed them outside. I saw them outside getting slimed.
Okay,
I didn't have the video.
No, is something
a different one?
they
Okay.
messed with him inside the locker room too.
Okay.
Well, so yeah, just kind of a little.
Preseason MVP winner, of course, right? Nickelodeon Valuable Player, Deuce Vaughn. By the way, you know that this is the first time they ever presented this award ever. So he's the first ever winner of this.
Good for him.
Preseason Nickelodeon Valuable Player.
I was
MVP.
kind of wondering why we had never heard of it before, but
because
that easily
because it's kind of silly. But by the way, there's the premieres. I don't know if you saw that already, but that's for the rookies. There's the one as the eye. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track here. Getting back on track. We talked about a little bit about Deuce getting loose out there, and I can't wait till people keep doubting him. Man, I'm telling you, let him doubt. Deuce will get out there and he will do some. I think he'll be every week. Will be impressing people. That see him getting maybe 10 to 15 snaps and maybe 7 touches on a good day. Meaning a running, a handoff or a catch. I think Deuce is gonna surprise a lot of mother effers out there, players, coaches, a lot of fans as well. I'm excited to see Deuce get a little loose, right? I think get a little loose. When they're not going to have him 30, they're not going to have him playing out there like a lot. But I will say one thing that's interesting about the preseason. How much did Deuce Vaughn play out there in preseason? Like, did he play really a lot? Because he had a good play and then they took him out.
I was just about to say, I'm like, in the beginning, we did see a lot, but basically the second that the Cowboys took him out, they basically never put him back in. Like,
that's the thing, though.
Like we never really saw him again.
He had two or three drives at most in the game. Preseason, you figure you got to check the first 2. Of course, the last game he didn't get anything. For Deuce Vaughn to have 2 drives in 2 games, to me the Cowboys only have to use him for a drive or 2. We use him for a drive or 2. We're going to maximize his potential every game, every week. I think so. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, time and place, situational stuff. That's what's important there as well. Anyways, back. Good catch on Deuce and Tony Pollard. Who else spoke, baby?
Well, I'm about to hit you with a little bit of a deja vu, a bit of a Groundhog Day situation here.
With?
Tyron Smith, guys. Guess what he had to say?
Tyron Smith,
I'll
best shape of his life? I don't know. It seems like he always says.
So, as far as his plan for Tyron Smith, since this is technically a contract year for him, he said, keep going until I can't no more, honestly.
Well, the Cowboys are down to keep him for until he can't go anymore. We know, right now we got no Tyler Smith. Tyron needs to be healthy this game. So till at least we got Tyler Smith back in.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bait and switch because guess what he had to say now?
Best shape of my life.
I'm as healthy as I've ever been. I feel great. and getting back into the groove of everything.
Again, yeah, this is like 6 years in a row, right? So, hey, look, take it with a grain of salt.
I could quote that in my sleep at this point.
Take it with a grain of salt. There's no way that... I hope he survives the whole season without any injury, but that'd be wishful thinking. We hope. I guess we can hope, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Matt Willetsko even chimed in. A lot of people had lots of things to say about Tyron Smith because Tyron Smith himself literally only said those two things. That's why I said, guess what he had to say. But as far as, like, Tyron Smith now and how he's being perceived, I mean, even McCarthy chimed in and gave his 2 cents. But Matt Willetsko said that he's really an attention-to-detail guy. He's always giving out tips and pointers and being vocal any way you get him talking. He's definitely a guy that you watch and you learn a lot from. So McCarthy even said, Micah is a bad matchup for anybody. It's basically, like, kind of making excuses for Tyron by saying anyone who goes up against Micah is not going to look great, right? So that made me laugh a little. But McCarthy ended up saying, I don't think that Tyron has a confidence problem right now. We have the ability to help any guard and any tackle. We're doing more in protection than we've done in the past. He's not wrong.
Good to know. I mean, again, I expect to see something like this when we hit the field.
Right, and Micah Parsons said it. Tyron is a legend, bro. The things that he's been able to accomplish in this league is second to none. And I just want people to know Tyron is really still great. There comes a time in your career, not Tyron, this is me, my career, where I feel like Tyron is intimidating, bro. So when I was going against Tyron my rookie year, that was one of the first left tackles that I went up against. I was like, man, this guy is hard to beat. And I didn't understand what I was doing or how I wanted to set him up. And then I learned from him.
And learned did he, right? I mean, Micah has been throwing Tyron Smith around a couple times. But, my point is that's called a player that's, an evolution of a player like Micah Parsons playing against the best every day in practice. Look how fast he can evolve into even a better form of himself. So I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love the battles that they had the last 2 years, now 3 years. It's our third year together battling. And honestly speaking, he didn't get to battle him last year at all, really, because he was out. Tyron Smith was out most of the year. So this is really his second year of really, truly battling with him, not just through training camp, but hopefully throughout the whole season. We'll see.
So, and again, like I said, Micah Parsons said, I just want people to know Tyron's really still great. There comes a time in your career, not Tyron, this is me, my career, where I feel like...
You said this already. You just said it.
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, whoopsie. Yeah. But yeah, Micah Parsons obviously spoke a little bit more than that, but that was everything as far as on the... Tyron-related Micah Parsons comments. But he did speak a little bit more. I know... Yep. No. I know that...
some Micah highlights.
First, I wanted to touch on his comments about Saquon Barkley. Not a big deal, but he actually did speak to him, saying that, they've talked a good amount about week 1 and that upcoming matchup, saying he's excited. He's talked about his new running style, how he's going back to the Penn State Saquon. He's like a big brother to me, and he was a big reason why I committed to Penn State.
Huh.
So, and remember, guys,
they're both the same school.
Saquon was only a year ahead of Micah. Micah's been a very hardcore, loyal Penn State graduate since then.
Hungry Lion, but all right, Nittany Lions. Yeah, he goes back there. He went back for the college game.
Yep.
Opening game this year.
And I know we all lay our heads down on the pillow probably the same way. But are you dreaming of Lombardi's the way that Micah is? Because he said, I've been sleeping on it. I've been thinking about it. Every night it's Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. But I don't get too caught up in it at the same time because I know I have to take care of each week as its own. Each day has the worries of its own. You have to focus on getting better inch by inch, and eventually you'll build enough inches to, you're at the Super Bowl. Huh. But your preparation, your work, and your mindset are what led you there. Everything that you do every day leads to the Super Bowl. Not just saying, I want to go to a Super Bowl. It just doesn't work like that. So, and again, as far as setting the defensive tone early, Micah Parsons said it's extremely important. The Giants aren't a walkover team. They put together a great offseason just like we did. Yep. They've got great guys they've already had, and the rivalry makes it harder. And something you've got to prepare for because they're going to give us their best shot.
Yep. We got to be ready, and no matter what. And I treat this team as a Super Bowl team.
Mm-hmm. So, and again, I like that mentality. Heading into it with that type of mentality, right? So, as far as some of the upgrades to the defense this year. Micah Parsons said, fundamentally, communication, I feel like this is the best defense I've ever been on. I've been so grateful to be on some good defenses as Penn State, and to come in here and just adding Gilmore is an extra boost in confidence on the back end. Having a side guy next to Trayvon, I'm predicting a lot of good things from our guys this year. People can't always go away from Diggs.
I mean, again,
they've got to face the music with both of them.
Yep.
To see them locked in and focused every day, and Diggs challenging me every week, it's going to be a really exciting year. I'm ready to get hands-on and let loose.
It's going to be... I think people don't realize how good this could be. And I'm just going to... I've been saying this kind of...
I only had one more thing.
Yeah, all off-season, I've been kind of like, kind of holding myself back, and I'm still trying to, because I want to see it. But with adding Gilmore, locking down the outside, and then you got Jordan Lewis and Deron Bland doing the slot stuff. You have Israel Mukuamu at times. If you want to throw him in there, a bigger guy. You got J-Ron Kearse on tight ends. You're going to see him matched up against Waller. What is Daniel Jones going to do? Throw it to Saquon Barkley every time? Dump it down every time to him? It's going to be interesting when that pressure comes. The only way you can kind of slow us down would be run the ball. Because even throwing the ball quickly, it doesn't really going to work anymore. Because we have full coverage across the back end by 6 different coverage guys we want to have in the game at the same time. So if you can't throw quick passes, you can't throw passes going to take 2.5 seconds or more because you're going to get sacked, and thrown down, or even earlier than that, to be honest. So what are you going to do? Like, who are you going to go to if you're Daniel Jones? We got to stop the run, and that means we're going to win this game by a lot if we stop the run. Anyways, what else did Micah say, baby, finishing this up? Because I feel hyped like him. Super Bowl is on my mind all the time.
Yeah, and this made me laugh because he was kind of asked, like, oh, do you take this Giants game, like, more seriously because it's, like, a division game or something like that? Micah said, nah, man, everyone gets the same smoke. It doesn't matter if we're in Wisconsin or Boston. I'm treating everyone the same. So, and the final comment we have from Micah Parsons, well, he definitely has, as far as like on my side of things, for the most part, Micah Parsons is definitely keeping an eye on the future. He had this to say as far as Nick Bosa's new contract. Super happy for Nick Bosa, man. He really showed why he was the best player in the league last year. It gives you something to chase, man, and I'm not in terms of his contract, but in terms of how great he was. He knows that I'm coming for him. He even said, I won this year, and I know you'll be coming for it next year. So, and I said, you're damn right.
Yeah, and and he added kind of to that, I think he kind of extrapolated from that for what he said on Monday, quote, just doing what I'm supposed to do, just being a dominant player, being the best defensive player in the league, being the best player in the league in general, and win us football games. He stressed that money is not squarely the object.
Yeah, it's not about the fact that, like, obviously Bosa got his big money, his big contract, but it's more about the what it signifies, right? Micah said, quote, it's the heart and the significance behind the money, what the money says. It's something that I worked for and something that I earned.
J-Ron Kearse also threw in his 2 cents about this topic.
He said just throw the checkbook of Micah.
Yeah, give him the checkbook, right?
Give him the checkbook, let him write his number down, and then let him cash the check. We have a lot of pivotal players in our defense, and myself included, but that's one that it will be tough, extremely tough, to duplicate the things that he does for our defense.
Facts.
So I'd give him the check and just say, just write whatever number down.
Jerry, you listening to J-Ron? This is facts right here. No question, no diggity, no doubt.
He'll probably keep it under like it'll be like an 8-digit number. Don't worry, like no more than that, Jerry. We promise.
It'll be interesting to see, guys. It will be. I listen. Interesting, but not lovely. I don't want to sit here and think about all the cap money that's going to be spent. But if you have a great player like this, you got to pay the piper. After his third year, you can give him the contract, the deals. It ain't going to go down, so you better pay him now. Now, as in, like, as soon as the first day you have open to sign him, you get the contract signed, and you have a deal ready to go. We'll see what happens. One more year of Micah and his dominance. He's going to cash in big, and we got our guy for a ton of years repping that star, representing this team. So... And I say a ton of years. I mean, I say 4 more years, 5 more years at most. And that's at most because, again, you got to look at things. He could break down. You got to remember that. There could be other issues that, slow him down. And though he won't have a 12 or 13-year career, he might have a 8 or 9-year career. So you got to be careful how long you give a deal to someone like Micah Parsons. With his abilities, though, and the way he trains, he could be going for 12, 13 years. Who knows? By the way, guys, as we get ready for the season to kick off, The NFL released an interesting kind of set of numbers and the importance of getting off to a fast start. Last year, the 14 teams who qualified for the playoffs went 10-4 in week 1. So most of these teams won their first game. Of course, we were not one of them. Remember that, guys. We lost our opener. Yeah. So the record for the 57 Super Bowl winners, you look at every team that won a Super Bowl on week 1, they were 46-10-1. So 46-10-1. There's a good chance that if you win week 1, you have still a good chance to maybe, hey, you never know, make the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. So when you look at these numbers, guys, since 2002 when the NFL expanded to 32 teams, teams that win that first game are more than twice as likely to reach the playoffs than those that lose an opening game. We lost our last 3 years opening games from McCarthy. Every year we've lost the opener with McCarthy. Of course, the first year we make the playoffs. So the last 2 we have. So we're one of the few exceptions that lose our first game and still get in the playoffs. But yeah, you have two more.
Look at us fucking with the statistics.
We are, again, twice as likely to reach the playoffs if we win that first game, according to these numbers. Of the 334 teams that won their opening game, 176 went to the playoffs, 117 won division titles, a.k.a. NFC East. Of the 332 teams that lost their openers, only 82 went to the playoffs, and only 50 won division titles. Now, a different number of winning and losing teams in season opening games because of the 2017 Week 2 victories by Miami and Tampa. But it was the hurricane that pushed that around there. But the point is, in 2022, the 14 playoff teams, like I said earlier, compiled a 10-4, 10 wins, 4 loss record last year on kickoff weekend. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's better if we start off with a win as we get ready for the Giants breakdown here real quick, guys. And again, stay tuned because we're going to talk about it real quick here. I want to know what your thoughts are as far as the Giant matchups we're going to have. We're looking strictly only on one side of the ball today. And that's we're looking at our defense versus their offense.
Okay.
All right, but we got to figure things out. And before I even get there, let's start off with Dak Prescott. Just really quickly, maybe a couple of stats and facts about Dak. During his rookie year, Dak lost his first ever start to the Giants. 10 straight games that year in 2016, and then lost to the Giants again. Right? Since then, we have Dak Prescott, when he's played against the Giants, has not taken an L. We've lost to them, but that was another quarterback there. We haven't lost to the Giants when Dak has been our starting quarterback. So, dominated the division. Dominated the Giants in the division, winning 10 straight, including Thanksgiving Day last November against the Giants in Dallas. So the milestones you want to look at for Dak Prescott, listen to this. If he throws for 57 passing yards, Dak will tie Aaron Rodgers as the only quarterbacks in NFL history with 25,000 passing yards and 1,500 rushing yards in their first 100 games. Dak is at 24,943. So he's only 57 away. He'll get 57 yards, and it'll only be him and Aaron Rodgers in the history of the NFL have ever gotten those 1,500 yards. He has 1,642 rushing yards in 97 starts. So, again, Dak, he only needs 57 in the next 3 games. So he'll definitely get there. Congrats to Dak when he hits that. And listen, Dak has been, he will put up those numbers. And against the Giants, it ain't going to stop, in my opinion. Yeah,
that's all.
Well, it's going to be this weekend. That's when, Sunday night. Now, when it comes, let's forget about the offense, our offense. And let's, first and foremost, say it loud. Drop those emojis, guys, right now. If you got those vagiants, the finger in the freaking NY, you know what I'm talking about. Because the Giants fucking suck. All right? But we do have to talk about the Giants. Uh-oh. Whose eyes are those? Oh, yeah, I think you guys know. Got to watch this guy, guys. Daniel Jones. And you got Saquon Barkley in the New York Trash. Yes. Darren Waller as well. You see what's behind them, right? Carpe.
Omnia.
Omnia. Right there behind them. We're coming for them. So anyways, I snuck that in there just to, just to make sure that, we're watching the Giants right now. So what's the biggest things about the offense of the Giants? So this is a new team, right? We don't have anything to go on. Okay. So roll with me. I want you to absorb this because we're going to need this for the game, and I want everyone to help me out there. And maybe I want you helping out. I love the emojis dropped. Thank you, guys. Yes, drop them all and drop them over and over again as I'm saying this. But let's talk about, just try to be non-biased here, right? And let's try to say, let's look at this team. What's their improvements? What are they looking at? The growth of this offense. They definitely have grown some. The biggest storylines you can look at through training camp was the potential growth of this offense in year 2 under, Dable, all right, the head coach, but also under offensive coordinator Mike Kafka. The Giants finished last year ranked 15th in points and 18th in the NFL in yards per game. But they also had that's not very good, obviously. The offense not too good there on those numbers overall. But when you look at, and not good overall, not good in passing, but when it comes to the top 5 run game they have, and our issues with the run, this is a major little matchup we're going to be watching here and talking about tomorrow and the next day. So they had a top 5 running game in yards and in touchdowns. So they get their touchdowns, they get their yards on the ground, according to last year. All right? The Giants also added new pieces. As you can see, one of them to the right here of the screen, dangerous guy for the Raiders, Darren Waller. He's out there as a tight end. He's number 12. We're gonna have to watch him. That's J-Ron Curse lockdown. We'll talk about that matchup in the future, probably Friday. So Darren Waller out there, and who the right wide receivers rolling out there on the field? Paris Campbell. All right, and others, of course, Sterling Shepard, Jalen Hyatt, the rookie from Tennessee. Watch for these guys in the mix. But again, guys, I think another rookie we got to talk about is John Michael Schmitz, their center. I'm going to talk about these guys, all these guys. But you see, there's a lot of young guys on this offense. A lot of young players that are getting their first crack. This is going to be their first game ever in the NFL. So
a lot of raw and inexperienced players.
Yes, and another year now in this system does help Daniel Jones and Barkley and some of the guys that have been here. But according to most reports, guys, everyone's saying the Giants are going to make a big jump on offense. And it starts Sunday night against us. It's interesting they're going to have that big jump against probably a top 3, at the very least, top 3 defense in the NFL. I don't know if that's going to happen that easily. Giant fans are very confident, and we'll let them test us. I'm curious. The biggest factor to me for the Giants in this season right now, and success, it comes down to the guy eyeballing you right there with those goofy eyes. Daniel Jones. All right? So, again, he's 26. How much has he developed from last year and since his rookie year, really? He's 26 years old. He is coming off his most efficient season, where he set career records for himself, 3,205 passing yards. Not too much there in passing yards, but he also had a 92.5 passer rating. That's a career high for him. Now, I know he also set a lot of other franchise New York Giant records. Completion percentage, 67.5. So he will complete passes. It might be dink and dunks, but he'll complete them. The interception percentage was really good for him last year. NFL best 1.06, and rushing yards. And I've been saying this all week, and maybe whenever we played the Giants last year as well. His running ability is fantastic. Rushing yards, he has 708 rushing yards. That's the most for a quarterback in Giants history. So, again, by the way, also had 7 rushing touchdowns. That's also number 1 in Giants history. So what am I saying here about Daniel Jones? He's going to throw the ball. He's going to be safe passes. It's going to be good high completion percentage. It's going to be, some runs by him. Not planned, but it could be some planned runs, but some scrambles as well. He's a good runner. So, again, if he continues having a solid game like that, it's a solid all-around game, they stay in the game that way, with him and Barkley and others. So he's a fifth-year quarterback who all summer, guys, from his coaches, his teammates, high marks. Everyone's really excited about the way he's improved. We will see. I'm looking forward to see his improvement against one of the best defenses in the NFL, because I don't think it's going to come this week. And Danny Dimes, whatever they call him, Daniel Jones, is going to, again, one of their toughest fucking tests is this week, Sunday night, against our Cowboys. So, to me, guys, you look at the quick overview here on their overall offensive upgrades, and they gotta get better, right, on offense, especially when it comes to passing and overall offense for the Giants against us. It's going to be interesting to see what the way their game plan goes. The Cowboys ranked 5th in points allowed last year, led the league with 33 takeaways. Cowboys, of course, we got DQ, Dan Quinn, top 10 finish in third down and red zone defense, domination by the defense last year, better than even the year before that, and I think it'll be better again this year. How does Daniel Jones and this offense do on EPA per play. Overall, they're 10th in the NFL. And against man coverage, if we play man, which we do a lot, they are actually very good. They're 5th best. Against zone, they're 21st in the NFL. So you can bet Dan Quinn's going to run some confusing disguised schemes out there on defense. And, going to try to confuse, I don't say confuse Daniel Jones as much as it is maybe looking like you're going to show man and you drop in the zone, boom. Or vice versa. So we'll see what happens. There's, of course, the Giants, when they run motion, they're 7th in the NFL in effective, per play situations. They were 12th when they were not running in motion, without motion. In play action, they were 22nd in the NFL. Not very good last year in play action. When not in play action, they were actually better, 11th in the NFL. I will say this, one little inside note, the last tight end to catch a touchdown in the regular season for the Giants was Week 10 last year. The last touchdown allowed in a regular season by a Cowboy defense was Week 8 of last year. So, what I'm trying to say is the Giants don't seem, at least, we're going without Waller, didn't have the tight end usage out there for the Giants. Now they have Waller, so that's going to change. But the Cowboys also have locked down opposing tight ends from scoring touchdowns since last year, Week 8. So, something to think about there. Something positive, I guess. Now, as we kind of finish up breaking down the position situations for this Giants team, let's start with Daniel Jones. Of course, again, what do you think about Daniel Jones? I mean, when it comes to his abilities, a lot of pressure on him to show improvement from last year, show it wasn't a fluke. Mobility to escape the pocket and create, plays was a huge leap he had last year helping out.
Still, if you think Dak Prescott has pressure on him, Daniel Jones definitely is starting to feel the squeeze.
Yeah, the questions are how much. It's not really about his running ability because we've kind of seen that last year and he definitely was solid. To me, it's more about his passing ability. How much has his passing improved? This will be scrutinized every week. They scrutinize Dak. Trust me, we don't have Daniel Jones. There's a lot of high hopes for him. Obviously, everybody has on their quarterbacks, but against the Cowboy defense, I think they got to hold their breath another week, the Giants fans, to see Daniel Jones have a better game. Now, what about Saquon Barkley, number 26? Guys, a very dynamic running back, of course. Can hit a home run. We've seen it happen live. When we watched the Giants and Cowboys in 2019, and he hit a freaking 97-yard run, almost went for a touchdown. So Barkley, or 91-yard run. Barkley's out there, guys, can hit a home run at any second. The issue for the Giants in their backfield is, that Barkley and Matt Breida, are both injury prone. Now, they'll both be in this game. So we're not talking about injuries this game. So they're ready to go and fresh. They're facing us week 1, so they're going to have both. And that means the Giants offense has speed now. They have Barkley and they have Breida. That's going to produce a speed running back. We have to stay on that shit because that is going to be one of the major issues for us. If we cannot stop the run, we will not be number 1. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure we stop that run, whether it's Hankins, Mozzie Smith, or both, along with the linebacker help and maintaining the run stop. And we should be okay. And they might break a couple, but we should be able to maintain a stop pretty much at all times on this Giants offensive team and their running backs. Now, we know that there's a couple of additions that they had on their team. Now, Paris Campbell, he joined the Giants this season as a free agent, right? And is going to be playing a lot of the slot position. Paris Campbell, keep his mind in your, his name in your head. And again, guys, Slayton, he got. I'm sorry, I keep saying Sterling. Slayton got re-signed to a 2-year deal, and of course they drafted Jalen Hyatt in the draft. Speed guy at Tennessee for the Tennessee Volunteers in college. So again, a new guy from another, I think from what was he, the Colts or another team, Paris Campbell. They got re-signed Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt in the draft. I'm just saying the Giants are adding at least a new core of guys. To me, we got Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore, baby. I mean, sorry, Jordan Lewis may be in the thing, but you're gonna have Deron Bland in the slot against Paris Johnson. So to me, Paris Campbell. To me, I think that the Cowboys have a good ability here, very good ability to slow down their receivers, just being honest. So receiver-wise, I give the win here across the board to the Cowboys. If we got Donovan Wilson watching, Jones, everybody watching Barkley, and that's the big key there. We got to make sure we got to slow down the running game, and that means running the ball or catching passes from the quarterback for the running backs and using their speed out there. That could be dangerous. So that's going to be important. Guys like LVE and Damone Clark got to be able to catch those running backs. You got to have Marquise Bells out there that are going to be ready to get that, get kind of some of that coverage stuff on the running backs. That's the biggest weakness right now for the Cowboys. Their running backs versus, our defense. But I think that, with a group effort, we can slow them down. And when you come to the receivers, I don't see anyone scary at all when it comes to our cornerbacks versus their receivers. We lock these motherfuckers down. Just be honest and blunt about it. Daniel Jones, right? Restructures his contract, all right? And again, to try to help the Giants with their free agent needs, still is one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. And still, target on his back. A lot of people are, talking that he's not cutting it out. I don't think he's cut for it yet. Also, we'll have to wait and see, guys. Effective running the ball. Against the Cowboys last year, he ran for 79 yards in week 3. Keep that in mind. So, the Cowboys have to keep Jones more in the pocket or at least shadow him in that sense. Saquon Barkley running the ball, everything is centered on the running back position for the Giants. And we're going to see what happens when he's on a primetime stage. He should be ready to go, Saquon. So we got to be ready to catch him and stop him. Now, I talked about the receivers, but what about the new addition here on the bottom, on the right side of the screen? Darren Waller, tight end, ex-Raiders tight end, was a huge success in 2020. Raiders decided to move on from him. After he missed some time from an injury last year. Last year, and really the last 2 years, he's been a little slowed by injuries. Great 2020, slowed down the last 2 years. Jaron Kearse locked him down in that Raider Cowboy game on Thanksgiving of 2 years ago. Waller, again, scored only 5 touchdowns. I'm not going to, in the last 2 years, I'm not sleeping on Waller. The guy can be a very effective tight end. Is he going to be an Evan Ingram? No, I don't think so. He's better than him. So, again, I think we got to watch him, but I do truly have a lot of confidence in Jaron Kearse, slowing him down and really stopping him. I think the Cowboys will handle it great with him. I think there's other guys that can still go on to and cover Darren Waller on our team, a lot of guys. But I think that Kearse is the main lockdown, defensive back player that we are going to use to, take that weapon away from Daniel Jones. In the Giants right now, when you look at their offensive line, to me that's one of the big question marks for the Giants. They moved on a couple of players and they added a couple. They're definitely not what they were last season. They added John Michael Schmitz, in the draft, and I think he's a very good player. I don't know if he's going to be ready for his first game under the under the lights against one of the best defenses in the league. But we're going to watch that center. He's a rookie, and he's a guy that we have to see, maybe be taken advantage of, even though he's still, I think he's a good player. Rookie. I'm going to leave it at that. So I want to see John Michael Schmitz getting worked a little bit. Last year, Evan Neal saw struggles trying to play out of position. So if they got him in the right spot now, he might be a little better. But we'll see what happens with both these guys. I think Andrew Thomas, one of the better linemen, he got a big deal, I think, this offseason. But killed him last year? Micah Parsons. So Andrew Thomas would be in trouble if he's got to face Micah Parsons every play. But he is their best lineman. And he's going to be he's a physical kind of dominator in that way. Okay, so we'll see. He had trouble when it came to Micah Parsons. And on offensive line for them, guys, if you look at their weakest link, last year, they still have a long way to go. If they want to, go away from what they did last year. You know what they did last year? They allowed the 5th most sacks last year of all the teams. So that's all I need to hear. And we don't know what was going to happen. There's a lot of new guys in there. A lot of young guys, a lot of new pieces for the Giants on the offensive line. They might have gotten a little better. They might have got a little worse. I don't give a fuck. Our defense is going to run over them. And I'm sorry, but Saquon's going to have trouble on most plays. Daniel Jones is going to have problems on most plays. So I don't see the Giants scoring more than 10, 13 points at most against our Dallas Cowboys. Plain and simple. We get to 17, 21 points, this fucking game's over. If I'm thinking about the fact that Giants, how will they score more than 10 to 13 points? At most. They might go in single digits for all I know because of our defenses. Unless the offense throws 3 picks, fumbles the ball, we have issues on special teams and they get it blocked and return it. Of course, then we can lose the game. But outside of that, there's no way the Giants are going to be able to score the points needed to, I think, win this game. And it's not because they can't do it. It's because our defense is too damn good. So, breaking down the last couple of things about this Giants offense, and tomorrow we'll break down the defense. All right? On Friday, the plan is to do a little matchup, kind of look at some matchups that are going to be very important. And then on Saturday, guys, you don't want to miss it. I know we can't do our simulations. We're trying something new, and you'll see it soon. Hopefully every week we'll be able to do this. We can bring somebody on and just talk with them for just a short moment and get a real good insight from what their sides are saying, right? So, again, there's some talks going on right now. Hopefully we'll get something up there for you guys for Saturday with us here, My Cowboys Family, Saturday night, the eve of the big day. You know what I mean? Oh, we got Mr. Oh! Woo! Is that a triple? I'll stop speaking. Oh, the lunatic with the biggest drop of the night right now in the house. What did the Godfather have to say, baby?
He said, hold. Michael Parsons Beer, he said 5 gifted memberships. A huge thank you to you, the lunatic, and always, puro pinche
always,
Cowboys.
Brother. And the man, the lunatic. So many great things we had going on last year with the man, and he's here giving back, baby, with that drop. Can I fix the board here for a second and hit up a comment or two so I can kind of...
Of course.
First of all, the lunatic repping it.
Puro pinche Cowboys.
That puts him in
already know.
Second place, just like that. Boom.
Bam.
And first place as the gifting leader. Much love, the lunatic in their house.
Taking over. And Orion Files, Cash Money, Bootzilla, Nate Nolan, Alpha 14. Congrats to you. So
yeah, they're all the winners of the recipients of the gifted memberships. Oh, just like that, the lunatic in the house. The season is here. The lunatic has awakened. Yes, he's been ready. He's been gearing up for these moments, and I know not only him, but us here too, My Cowboys Family. So
now BCG said we can't beat ourselves this year if we want to make a deep playoff run.
Oh, with no question, we got to be consistent, family. It's about not about getting 40 points and then scoring 15 the next week. It's about consistency. Let's get 28 points every game, and that defense consistently holds teams to 10. Game over, baby. There's no way, no one can beat us if that's our consistent efforts and game and results on the field.
So let me keep rolling back here a little bit here. And by the way, again, huge shout out to everybody here chilling, hanging with us.
Yes.
As far as the Cowboys' record overall, I know we touched on this a few times, but I would say at like baseline 12 wins.
Oh yeah, 12. I think 12 would be the nice number. We have a tougher schedule, but I also think that anything on 10 is a big. Something happened to fuck us over at 10 wins. I think 11 could be possible because it's a tough schedule. 12 is definitely attainable. 13 is attainable. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. But we can't beat them. This Giants team, they're not really trash, but we're trying to make a little joke at them. This would be a good win against a good division rival in their home. So let's see what happens. Just finishing this up. By the way, the lunatic, much love to him. Again, he's got a safety and a field goal. It looks like 5-3 lead. Jason Renfro's 3.3 gifted memberships, and of course Skeptical Fan dropping that one on it as well. So appreciate everybody in the gifting side of things, and much love to the lunatic moving on up here in MCF. Yes. So the rookies for the Giants, that's one thing I think we need to focus on, and tomorrow I'll focus on maybe a defensive rookie or two. I think their cornerbacks are both rookies, but let's focus on this. We're talking about the offense right now. The Giants. This is a lot of rookies' first test for the Giants. They released their unofficial depth chart for Week 1 yesterday, and a lot of rookies were listed among the starters. Listen to this. Second-round draft pick center John Michael Schmitz. I think he's a good player. Rookie, I don't know how good he's ready to go or not, but he earned the starting job after a strong offseason. On 50 pass block snaps across these first 2 preseason games he played in, he surrendered only 1 pressure. So solid against, mostly backups, I guess. Now, the rookie center is going to be blocking a rookie Mozzie Smith, the 26th pick of the draft. So good battle to watch there. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, more throughout the week. But that's major for the Cowboys to, kind of have a little bit of a, effect on this offense. We need to make sure that guys like Mozzie Smith can beat rookies that are drafted in the second round. He was drafted in the first round, right? So now the Giants' third-round pick, Jalen Hyatt, is going to probably see, he's not going to start at receiver, but he's going to see snaps in the opening game. Of course, we have a very difficult pass defense to get through. Diggs, Gilmore, the whole safety crew. You get our slot cornerbacks. So we got defensive backs for days. Safeties, pseudo linebackers, whatever you want, hybrid. We got everyone. And they got a fifth rounder too, guys. Fifth round pick, Eric Gray, listed on the first team depth chart as the kickoff and punt returner. So they got a new, return guy in there as a rookie. They get maybe the jitters, right? It could be a fumble. Eric Gray, punts and kickoffs. Another guy to watch. I'm just saying, rookies. There's a lot of rookies on the Giants team on offense. You know what I mean? And just finishing up here, guys. Again, Barkley is the main piece. I think you got here, of course, everything runs from Daniel Jones. I think Darren Waller is the wild card in a good way for the Giants, although I think we're going to lock him down some. All these things are help for Daniel Jones. Waller can make the plays down the field as a tight end, and that's an area that hurts the Cowboys when trying to stop a playmaking tight end. Although I will say once again, since we've had Jaron Kearse and Dan Quinn, the tight end domination has stopped the last 2 years. It stopped. I mean, check it out, guys. How many tight ends has done anything against the Cowboys in the last 2 years of Kearse and Quinn? I'll wait. Not much. I checked the numbers the last 2 years. That's the matchup to stop Waller. So even though it's an upgrade for the Giants, we have a guy that can do that and stop that. So to me, or at least slow it down. Slow the guy down. We'll see how that goes. I think, of course, in the end, it's the guy's hoodie you see on right there. Carpe Omni. How you say it? I'm sorry. Omnia. That's Micah Parsons, guys. And if there's one player that people always compare Micah to, and we've kind of talked about this, is Lawrence Taylor, Giants Hall of Famer, right? And, Lawrence LT took the league by storm, so has Micah Parsons. Although I will say, maybe he's a step behind still, right? But he's still just ripe in his career right now. Micah has earned 2 All-Pro selections, ready to dominate this Giants team once again this season. And, if you saw training camp, you saw him basically going through every single player we had. Blocking-wise, our best players across the field, Micah was tearing them up. So guess what? Who's standing right behind these 3 guys? Micah Parsons. Mm-hmm. He's ready. Micah's coming for this Giants team. Baby, hit up the chat as we get ready to get on out of here. Tomorrow we'll talk about the defense, talk about matchups on Fan Friday. On Saturday, we're going to have a special guest here, hopefully with full information on our enemy. So we're all up to speed and knowledgeable on our opponent for Sunday Night Football, baby. Sunday night, we get the camera on, we get the party started here, and we do our live stream reaction. Game 1, Week 1, 2023 for our Dallas Cowboys. And I know you cannot wait. Mm-hmm. We're excited, guys. We are excited. Who's in the house as we get ready to drop on out of here for this evening with our bobbleheads? Oh, shit. There you go. Mr. Jason Renfro coming in here. Kind of bookending us here. I kicked it off. Maybe he's dropping the last drop of the night with a $1.60 holler. What did the man say?
He said, "Go Cowboys."
Go Cowboys.
Then you, Jason Renfro.
Go Cowboys.
You, of course.
Yes. Much love to Jason Renfro. Appreciate him. David Lara, 57 points on the stream, boss. Ooh. So hit up the last, I guess, do the shout-outs / comments.
Yes.
And let's roll out of here, baby, for another one.
Scorpio said, MCF, you're saying it wrong. It's crap on him. Stone Immaculate 2 said, Parsons is the best player in the NFL, but hold up about, being like LT.
That's why I said he's a hair behind him still. But he's right there with them. Who can stay with them? I mean, you got Reggie White's, you got Derek Thomas's, you got Lawrence Taylor's. I mean, you got Micah Parsons. He's sniffing them. The Hungry Lions not stopping. Not stopping.
So, Stone Immaculate 2, take it easy. BCJ. Let me see. Stephen White, you have a great night.
Yes.
Let me see. The Lunatic, take it easy.
The
of course,
Lunatic.
Thank you so much. Much love.
Yes, the gifting leader right now, trying to come for that crown. And he's second place on the overall.
Scott Freedom, much love to you as well. Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett. BCJ, Jason Renfro. Let me see. No, I'm just trying to make sure I got everybody. Mike Aldana, 40 Luck. So, by the way, 40 Luck wants to know, what if we go to 2 tight end sets?
I mean, I think it depends what we want to do on that play. But, of course, no question, Ferguson gets on that field, right? He's going to be your tight end pretty much every single time. To me, it's about Hendershot or Schoonmaker. If you want more of a dynamic passing down, you probably want to use Peyton Hendershot. If you want to use more of a blocking kind of guy, you want to go more Schoonmaker if you're going to maybe run a little bit there. You can still throw the ball and have Schoonmaker blocking down the field, which is an option as well. The Cowboys may plan that. But I like either or. It's great. I like either or, guys. And, Hendershot can block. Schoonmaker can catch. So that's the versatility I think that Mike McCarthy loved in getting someone like Schoonmaker. So I think that's what he loves also in someone like Hunter Lipke, who can play that, not just the short yardage stuff, the pass protection and the catching, but can also do a little bit of inline tight end. As you can see with Schoonmaker getting a little bit of that pass protection help that you might get from a running back, you can get it from Schoonmaker. So there's a lot of interchanging there, and I like it. I like the versatility.
Agreed. So rolling back a little bit more here, let me just make sure I'm getting everybody's shout outs right. Aztec Aguilar 04. Scorpio representing here, much love. Harold Jones in the house. Aztec Aguilar 04, what's up? We see Tammy Soltis, take it easy, have a great night. Frank Warner, much love.
Frank in the house.
Let me see. I think that's as far back as Ice
White.
Tippler, take it easy.
Yeah, Stephen White said Darnell Washington was the pick. Hey, I've been thinking that. I've been saying that the day of the draft. But hey, they said it was he had an injury. I don't know. Seems Luke Schoonmaker had an injury over Washington as far as that's concerned. BCJ, Jason Renfro, Scorpio, Stone Immaculate, everybody in the house. Appreciate you all, baby. I got to ask you a couple of things. Do you know who's leading everything? You know who's the sponsor of the week?
It's Jason Renfro.
Yes, it is. Much love to Jason Renfro, who's also the 5-time streaker as our membership gifting king. So thank you, champion Jason Renfro, on those sides of things. But you also got to shout out the Cash App King, Snug X, and baby, you know why he's here. He's on that board again. We have him there, and he's representing it, as well as Jason Renfro on this board. But the leader this week, Snug has 4 in a row. Will he get 5? Well, he's on that board with 5, but it looks like Skeptical Fan is in the lead currently, trying to take over the crown and the Cash App. Much love to him. And David Lara, 57 points in the Stream Boss. The overall leader currently is still by just a little bit, but he's still there. It's Mr. Skeptical Fan. Much love to him with, like I said, guys, the Lunatic right behind him. Jason Renfro right behind him. Oh, yeah. The family is in full effect, guys. Thank you for repping it on those sides of things. And again, like the leader I said this week, the Lunatic, second place on the overall board, but he's leading the gifting race this week, trying to stop Jason from getting 6 in a row. We'll see what happens. The Lunatic right now has 5 on it. Jason has 3, and Skeptical Fan has 1 on that gifting leaderboard. So on that note, baby, now I want to know from you, why do we do this here at My Cowboys Family like crazy people as we get ready for week 1? Why do we do this each and every night here on MCF?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Yeah, you know it, guys. Win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly. Here in MCF, we always rep that star over everything. And here for 6 years and beyond, and 7th season of doing this thing, never forget the number one thing here on YouTube. Here on My Cowboys Family, as always, and say it with us, Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping your knowledge in the chat literally all night long, the last hour and a half, rocking it here with us. Tomorrow we'll do the defense, and get ready for that. We're going to check out the Giants' defense and what we're going to do against them. On our offensive side, we'll know more about, hopefully a little more about Tyler Smith and the other injuries as we see the injury report and the practice report come out tomorrow, and we'll discuss it all right here every night. My Cowboys Family, baby. Much love to the people in the chat dropping the knowledge. Much love to those that dropped the love from above today, specifically Jason Renfro, Brandon James, Snug X, and the Lunatic with the gifting. Thank you all for doing your thing here on My Cowboys Family. Truly appreciate your love and support on for our channel here. We go nightly. You guys go nightly. Thank you guys truly from the bottom of our hearts. Now it is time to clock out and drop out officially for this show. And baby, before we can come back tomorrow, relocked and reloaded, talk more Dallas Cowboy, preview. What do we got to do here on My Cowboys Family before we drop out for the night?
We got to drop the beat. That beat has now been officially dropped, guys.
And thank you for rocking with us on My Cowboys Family once again. Don't forget, hit that like for this stream. Hit subscribe for the channel. Keep growing it, guys. 27,500 plus. The best family here on MCF is you guys. And of course, hit that notification bell. Follow us on Twitter at My Cowboys Family. All that good stuff. Go into Discord for notifications as well. And on, guys. Thank you all for rocking with us here for another Cowboys chat. Carpe Omnia. Seize everything, baby. That means number 6 and beyond. Gotta get through the trash first. The New York trash. I mean the New York Giants. And that's our first opponent Sunday night. I'm ready. You ready? We all ready. I don't know if Tyler Smith's gonna be ready. We know Pollard is. Micah is always ready. Are the Giants ready for what we're gonna bring to their offense? I don't think so. But hey, we'll all get to see it nationally televised on Sunday Night Football. I can't wait. We talked about the offense tonight for the Giants. Check it out. Also, much love to all here from us at My Cowboys Family here at MCF, where it's always about that navy blue, silver too, star over everything, and never ever forget the number one thing here at My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone, even the haters. Hit that love button, that like button, sub it up, and hit the notification bell. And of course, have a good night, guys. Stay safe. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. Peace. And never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!